Imagine for a second the ultimate reunion tour. But we're not talking about some band getting back together.
No stadium rock here.
No, we're talking about the intellectual heavyweights of our generation. It's like if, I don't know, Einstein and Bohr decided to share a stage to map out the next century of physics.
But with, you could argue, much higher stakes.
Definitely higher stakes.
Yeah.
Because they're not just describing the universe, are they? They're building a new intelligence inside of it.
That's a great way to put it. And yeah, looking at the two people we're focused on today, they really are the architects of what's coming next.
No pressure. So for this deep dive, we are unpacking what feels like a reunion of giants. We're looking at Dario Amodei from Anthropic and Demis Hassabis from Google DeepMind.
And we've been digging through everything, technical forecasts, interviews, economic data, to really get a handle on what they're saying.
And what happens next is the key phrase, isn't it? We need to understand the mechanism of acceleration, like why everything is moving so fast, the real risks of getting to AGI, and, well, what's on the other side?
What happens the day after?
Exactly. The air just changes when these two speak. So let's dive in. The Titans return. For a while, the whole AI landscape felt like chaos. Where do DeepMind and Anthropic actually stand right now?
It's still shifting, but I think their roles have become a lot clearer. If you look at Google DeepMind, I'd call them the engine room.
The engine room. I like that. It sounds powerful.
It is. A while back, there was that whole code red thing at Google. A real feeling they'd been caught flat-footed by ChatGPT.
Right, that they were falling behind.
But they have clawed it back aggressively. With things like Gemini 3, they are right back at the top of the leaderboards. They're just leveraging that massive Google infrastructure, the custom chips, the data centers, to ship models at a speed almost no one can match.
It's the empire striking back, basically.
In a way, yeah. But then you have Anthropic, and this is the really fascinating counterstory. They've gone from being the underdog.
Yeah, the scrappy group that left OpenAI over safety stuff. I remember that.
Exactly. To now being what I'd call the independent heavyweight. They are not a science project anymore. They are seeing exponential revenue growth. They're a peer.
So they're sitting at the grown-ups table now.
They are. And what's really interesting is that despite this fierce competition, Dario and Demis have this shared DNA. They are researchers first.
They're not just your typical CEOs looking at the bottom line.
No. Their North Star is still solving these huge scientific problems. And that's key to understanding why they agree on so much, even as they're racing each other.
Okay, so we've got the engine room and the heavyweight. Let's get under the hood then. What is this mechanism of acceleration? I think most people just assume, Moore's law, chips get better, computers get faster.
That's part of it, for sure. But the real game changer is that we're closing the loop on development itself.
What do you mean closing the loop?
Think about the old way of doing things. A human writes code. They check the math. They debug. It's slow. Humans need coffee. We make typos.
Oh, I hate debugging. Spending hours hunting for a missing semicolon.
Exactly. But now, look at the new process. Step 1, the model writes the code. The model verifies the math. Step 2, the human engineer is more of an editor. They just review the output.
Okay.
Which means step 3, research accelerates. And step 4, the next generation of models gets built even faster.
So we're moving from humans building AI to AI helping build AI.
Precisely. It's a flywheel. And that feedback loop is getting tighter and tighter. I mean, Dario Amodei made this prediction that just floored me.
How was it?
He said that within just 6 to 12 months, models will likely be able to do most, or maybe all, of software engineering from end to end.
Hold on. 6 to 12 months. For the entire software engineering process, that sounds impossible.
That's the forecast. And if the AI can build the next version of itself with almost no human help, the speed of improvement stops being linear or speed, and it becomes exponential. Very fast.
Which brings us right to the big one, the timeline. If the machine is building the machine, when do we actually get to AGI? It seems like Dario and Demis disagree a little bit here.
They do. And the disagreement is so revealing. Dario, at Anthropic, he's looking at that coding loop we just talked about. He sees the sprint.
The sprint.
Yeah. Code and math are these perfect closed systems. You can simulate them. An AI gets better at coding. It can immediately code a better AI. There's no friction.
So because of that, he thinks.
He predicts AGI, and he means models that are smarter than a Nobel laureate around 2026 or 2027.
That is so soon. I mean, that's practically tomorrow. That's within the current presidential term.
It is shockingly close. But Demis, at DeepMind, he has a slightly different take. He's thinking more like 2030, with about a 50% chance.
So why the gap? What's he seeing that Dario isn't?
He's not ignoring the code. He's looking beyond it at what we could call the crossing. He's focused on the messy natural sciences, physics, chemistry, biology.
I get it. You can't just simulate those perfectly. You have to actually, mix the chemicals in a beaker.
Yeah.
Run the experiment.
Exactly. You have to run the trial on real mice. Nature has friction. Physical time is a real constraint that code just doesn't have. So the digital brain might be ready in 2027, but applying it to solve physical problems, that could take until 2030.
So it's the speed of digital versus the friction of the physical.
Mm-hmm.
But look, whether it's 2027 or 2030, we're talking about a massive shift this decade. And we're already seeing the economic tremors.
Economic tectonics is the perfect phrase. The numbers are just staggering. We are watching companies go from 100 million in revenue to $1 billion to a projected 10 billion, all between 2023 and 2025.
That's not a curve. That's a vertical line.
It's the whole intelligence as a service thesis. For the first time, there's this direct exponential link between cognitive ability and revenue. These companies are reaching the size of Fortune 500 giants in, a few years?
Because they're selling the most valuable thing there is, intelligence. Which brings up the part that really keeps me up at night. What happens to the people who used to get paid for that intelligence? The end of the internship.
This is an immediate risk. I mean, the forecast is that in the next 1 to 5 years, half of all entry-level white-collar jobs could just vanish.
Half. That is a brutal number for anyone just starting their career.
It is, but think about what a junior employee does. They summarize documents, they write the basic code, they draft emails, clean up data. That is exactly what these models are getting perfect at.
But there's a deeper problem there, isn't there? If you don't have juniors doing the grunt work, how do they ever become seniors?
That's the junior problem. We're cutting off the traditional path of learning by doing. If an AI does the first 3 years of your job for you, you never build the skills to handle the really complex stuff later on.
And we're already seeing hiring for interns slow down.
We are.
So what's the advice? If you're 22 years old and listening to this, what on earth do you do?
The only strategy anyone's talking about is you have to become a centaur.
A centaur. Like half human, half horse.
Half human, half machine. You have to get unbelievably good with these tools. You use the AI to leapfrog the learning curve. You can't be the one doing the grunt work. You have to be the one orchestrating the AI that does it.
Adapt or die. I mean, humans are pretty good at that historically. We went from farms to factories to desks.
We are adaptable, but the context is different. The rate of change is different.
It's that linear versus exponential thing again.
Exactly. Human adaptation is linear. We change our laws slowly, our school slowly, but AI improvement is exponential. If that feedback loop closes as fast as Dario thinks, our institutions just might not be able to handle the displacement in time.
It's the difference between a rising tide and a tsunami. You could prepare for a tide, a tsunami just hits you.
That is the danger. It's not that we can't adapt, it's that we might not have time.
And it's not just the economy, it's geopolitics too. The chip war.
This is the physical choke point for the digital explosion. You need the GPUs to run the code. Dario Amodei had this really stark quote about it. He said, selling high-end chips to adversaries is like selling nuclear weapons for profit.
Wow. That puts it in perspective.
It does. We're in a race, mostly U.S. versus China, and the only real lever we have to buy time is export controls.
But can't we all just agree to slow down?
And that's the reality check. We can't slow down by ourselves. If the U.S. hits pause, that doesn't stop progress. It just means progress happens somewhere else under a regime that might have very different values.
So we're locked in. We have to run this race, even if we're not sure about the finish line. Speaking of which, safety.
Yeah.
For a long time, talking about AI safety felt kind of sci-fi.
Yeah, very doomer, very philosophical. What if the robot decides it hates us? But that's changed. We're moving from doomerism toward agency.
Wow.
It's becoming an engineering problem. There's this field called mechanistic interpretability.
That's a mouthful.
It is, but the idea is simple. We're trying to look inside the model's brain and understand why it does what it does, like neuroscience for an AI.
So we're trying to build safety into the wiring from the start.
Exactly. It reframes the problem. It's not some mystic prophecy we have to worry about. It's a tractable scientific challenge. It gives us work to do.
I want to zoom out a bit. We've talked about chips and jobs and code, but there was this one reference in the source material to Carl Sagan's Contact. The quote was, "How did you manage to get through this without destroying yourselves?"
The technological adolescence metaphor, it's profound.
It really is.
I mean, think about it. We have learned how to build intelligence from sand, from silicon. It's like the discovery of fire. It can cook your food or it can burn down your entire village.
And right now we're holding the torch and the forest feels very, very dry.
Right. And the test of any civilization is whether it can survive its own technological maturity. This connects right to the Fermi paradox.
The gray filter.
Why is the sky so silent? If intelligent life is out there, where is everybody?
And the scary answer is that they all got to where we are now. And they didn't make it. They invented AI or nukes, and that was it. Game over.
That is the fear. But Demis Hassabis has this really optimistic take on it. He suggests we might already be past the great filter.
Really? How?
He thinks biological evolution was the hard part. Going from a single cell to a thinking brain, that was the miracle. Now that we're here, the future is up to us. He rejects that self-destruction is just inevitable.
I like that. It puts the agency back in our hands.
Mm-hmm.
And if we do get through this,
Mm-hmm.
the upside is just, it's hard to even imagine. We're building the ultimate tool for science.
This is that machines of loving grace vision. AI as a master key for the physical universe. We're talking about curing cancer, eradicating disease, solving clean energy.
We saw a preview of this with AlphaFold, right, with decoding biology.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was a grand challenge in biology for 50 years, and AlphaFold just solved it. Now imagine applying that power to everything, to solving the fundamental suffering of the human condition.
Which creates this really strange, but maybe beautiful problem, post-scarcity. If AI solves production in science, what's left for us? What do we do all day?
And this is the philosophical shift. We would have to decouple meaning from economic gain. For all of history, your value was your labor.
But in a world where we don't need to work to survive.
In that world, we'd be free to pursue art, creativity, sports, competition, exploring the cosmos.
That sounds like Star Trek.
It does, but it's a real potential future. If we don't have to struggle for survival, we have to find a new purpose. And that might be the hardest part of this whole transition.
It's a lot to process. It feels like we're standing on a cliff and we can't tell if we're about to fall or fly.
Yeah.
So let's bring it back to right now. For everyone listening, what are the key signals to watch for over the next 12 months?
Okay, 3 big ones. First, AI building AI. Watch for headlines about models writing their own code or doing research without a human in the loop. When you see that, the acceleration is about to go vertical.
Got it. Signal 1, the loop. What's 2?
Robotics. The breakout moment for physical AI. We have the brains, now watch for the bodies. When an AI can reliably navigate a messy, real-world room or fold your laundry, that's a huge step.
And the third signal.
World models.
Yeah.
That means systems that really understand physics and persistence. Not just predicting the next word, but predicting what happens if you drop a glass. That's the bridge from a chatbot to a true AGI.
AI, building AI, robotics, and world models.
Okay, those are the things to track.
You know, after all this,
Yeah?
the tech, the economics, the aliens,
Mm-hmm.
the one thing I want people to take away is that this is not a spectator sport.
Absolutely not. The future is not inevitable. It's a choice we're making right now. We are literally writing the history of the next species.
It's all about agency. It's easy to feel small in the face of all this, but we're the ones building it. We're the ones deciding what to do with it.
And that means you have to participate. Don't just read the headlines. Understand the tools. Engage with the debate. Because how we navigate our technological adolescence will define, well, maybe everything.
Low pressure.
Just a
Well, on that note, we should probably wrap up. Go out there and learn something new today. Leapfrog that learning curve.
and keep watching the signals.
Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive. We'll catch you next time.